Hello, I'm Joonggeun. I'm teaching physical education at Irina Middle School. I will start the presentation with the theme of influences of physical education teachers' relatedness support on students' physiological needs and motivation toward learning. The order of presentation is as follows. This is the introduction. Students' positive emotional experience in physical education classes is influenced by smooth communication and friendly exchanges between the teacher and students. In addition, students' emotional experience is determined by the teacher's interaction with the students and the quality of the relationship. In particular, the relatedness between teacher and students serves as an important driving force in enhancing student study motivation and level of academic achievement is a medium for achieving class goals and promotes efficient learning outcomes. According to self-determination theory, which has been widely used in recent research on physical education, the social environment formed by important others affects three basic physiological needs of individual students: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. The satisfaction levels of these needs directly or indirectly affects behavior, cognition, emotion, and motivation. Major factors in the social environment that determine a student's level of physiological satisfaction include autonomy support, competence support, and relatedness support. Students feel a desire to be trusted, cared for, and supported by others within the social environment. In the process of satisfying these needs, students develop in social learning and gain a sense of physiological stability. A teacher who forms an amicable and trusting relationship with the students will have a positive influence on him or her in shaping self-awareness, self-respect, emotional stability, and pressure in studying. Studies on relatedness and relatedness support in physical education classes have been conducted in terms of emotional support. Environments that provide cooperative learning and understanding others from a mutually understanding perspective. A stable relationship between teachers and students in physical education classes is of paramount importance for the operation of classes and the achievement of students' learning goals. The purpose of this study is to verify the structural relationship between students' perception of physical education, teachers' relatedness support, and their physiological needs and learning motivation. The research hypotheses for achieving this objective are as follows. First, the student's perception of relatedness support provided by physical education teachers will affect students' physiological needs. Second, the physiological needs that students experience will affect their motivation for learning. Third, each physiological needs will mediate between relatedness support and learning motivation. Next is the research method. The subjects of this study were students aged 14 to 16, attending school in the Jeollabdo region of South Korea. Convenience sampling was used for the study. 5 middle schools were selected and visited, and the purpose, goal, and ethical aspects of the study were explained before receiving students' consent. Each student was given 2 questionnaires to complete. Of the questionnaires retrieved, 286 were valid and were used in this study. 12 incomplete or blank questionnaires were excluded. Study tools are as follows. Descriptive statistical analysis, reliability analysis, and correlation analysis were performed on the measured variables, and a path analysis was performed according to the structural model to verify the relationship between each variable. The bootstrap method was used to determine the impact of teachers' relatedness on physiological needs and internal motivation. Next is research results. Table 1 presents the results for descriptive statistics, reliability, and correlation. To verify that the questions for each variable of the measurement tool meet the normal distribution curve, we looked for skewness and tortoises. Given the normal distribution conditions, the questions for each variable were found to meet the normal distribution conditions. Next, the reliability for relatedness support, which is a social factor based on self-determination theory, autonomy of physiological needs, satisfaction, which is a motivation factor, competency, relatedness, and learning motivation based on locus of causality or provides acceptable. Regarding the results of the correlation analysis, teachers' relatedness support basic physiological needs and All the sub-factors of learning motivation showed it a significant positive correlation. To identify the physiological needs of students who experience various physical and physiological changes, this study analyzed each of the factors of autonomy, competency, and relatedness by setting them as parameters. Instead of setting physiological needs satisfaction, which is the sum of the values of autonomy, competency, and relatedness as parameters. As the hypothesis test results show, teachers' relatedness support in physical education class is an important predisposing factor for predicting students' physiological needs. The relatedness support of physical education teachers had a significant effect on the three physiological needs. In addition, the three physiological needs has a significant effect on learning motivation. However, the relatedness support of physical education teachers did not have a significant effect on learning motivation. Next, the bootstrapping method proposed by Horry and Smith was used to verify the mediating effects of physiological needs in the relationship between physical education teachers, relatedness support, and learning motivation. A significancy test of the indirect effect showed that physiological needs indirect effect was significant in the relationship between teachers' relatedness support and learning motivation. This can be seen in Figure 1, which shows the structural relationship between variables based on theory. It shows that in physical education classes, the higher the teacher's relatedness support, the higher the satisfaction of students' physiological needs, which has a positive impact on their motivation. The discussion is as follows. Friendly communication, understanding, empathy, and enthusiasm provided by teachers during physical education classes led to the satisfaction of students' physiological needs and higher levels of participation in classes. When teachers show students warmth and care, when they notice and respond to attentive students' behavior, and the ability to control their emotions, the students' physiological needs are met, and this helps them to form values. Students internalize values, attitudes, thoughts, and ideas into their own self through the formation of a meaningful relationship with teachers, and this plays an important role in promoting students' motivation and developing positive emotions. It was confirmed that the satisfaction of these physiological needs in physical education classes is related to internal learning motivations that bring out high levels of class participation and academic achievement. The higher the degree of satisfaction of physiological needs in sports and classroom environments, the greater the likelihood of internalizing internal motivation. Students work harder over learning activities when their relatedness needs are met. They participate more in class and feel less bored and anxious about learning. Teachers should create a permissive classroom atmosphere that can satisfy autonomy and competence rather than strictly controlling students' behavior by creating an interfering, restrictive, and scarce classroom atmosphere. It is necessary to provide class programs and environments where students can participate in classes friendly and joyfully and experience positive emotions so that their motivation for learning can be promoted. When teachers provide professionalized guidance and feedback to meet the physiological needs of individual students in the classroom, students will be emotionally stimulated and will experience more positive emotions such as pleasure, interest, satisfaction, and competitiveness. The subjective sense of happiness and positive emotional experience can lead to students' participation and immersion in classes. The quality of students' participation in class and learning varies depending on the level of satisfaction they experience regarding relatedness. Teachers should promote students' motivation to learning by providing teaching methods and class contents that consist of a wider ranging of choices and decision-making on learning activities, and feedback that can satisfy students' basic physiological needs of autonomy, relatedness, and competency. The degree of relatedness support can vary depending on class conditions and is flexible. In a classroom environment where relatedness support is active, teachers can support students' autonomy by conducting classes flexibly. If a teacher creates a scary environment and a strict classroom atmosphere in physical education classes, and only points out students' faults, it can arouse negative feelings in students. In order for students to experience positive emotions and grow, teachers should try to understand their attitudes and behavior changes and form amicable interactions, and close relationships. Finally, here's the conclusion. The relatedness support provided by physical education teachers had a positive effect on the physiological needs of students, and physiological needs had a positive effect on students' motivation for learning. In addition, each physiological needs mediated between relatedness, support, and motivation for learning. The relationship between teachers and students in class affects the process and result of learning as well as communication. A quality of the relationship and communication varies depending on how the relationship between the teachers and the students is formed. Depending on whether students meet their basic physiological needs or not, it directly or indirectly affects their motivation, attitude, and academic achievement. Through the teacher's relatedness support, students develop self-determination through self-control and adjustment of their behavior. Teachers' relatedness support is an important factor that evaluates students' self-determination, such as participation in classes and attitude toward classes. To meet students' basic physiological needs, teachers should improve their teaching and learning strategies, class operation methods to create a teaching environment that strengthens teachers' relatedness support in order to enhance students' self-determination. To enable teachers and students to communicate with each other and have positive experiences, it is necessary to develop and apply a relatedness improvement program that can support teachers' relatedness and verify its effectiveness. Also, expanding studies that can prevent and reduce the problem behavior that can occur between teachers and students in physical education classes, and expanding studies that suggest useful way to solve these problem behaviors in a desirable way will improve the relatedness between teachers and students. With this, I will conclude my presentation. Thank you.